Melanie Simpson QC, Racial Injustice in the Criminal Justice System. When Theresa May, an architect of the hostile environments that led to the Windrush scandal, said, "If you are black, you are treated more harshly by the criminal justice system than if you are white," she was stating the obvious. During the COVID-19 lockdown, the police stopped and searched 30%, 22,000 people, of London's young black men aged 15 to 24. Predictably, 80% of these stops resulted in no further action. This targeting of a new generation of young black men creates a continuum of lost confidence and mistrust in the police, no different to that expressed in the decades-old Scarman report. Racial injustice exists everywhere, but it is highlighted in the criminal courts most acutely because liberty is at stake, and they should be a place of justice for all. We have to expunge our criminal justice system of the demonization of black men, where in evidence, age-old tropes are used to demonize them in court. References to gang members and knife-wielding youths have taken over from black muggers, but race is still a central theme. White people are the overwhelming majority in this country and carry out the overwhelming number of crimes, but the phrase white-on-white violence doesn't exist. In too many cases, there is a conflation between the use of the word gang and urban or black culture. We see evidence introduced seeking to prove that someone is in a gang just because they're in a street music video and look, dress, and talk in a certain way, when some are only there because they live in the area and think it's a cool thing to do. During one of my trials, I had to challenge a police gang expert who gave evidence that the words "a long ting" meant a long knife, when anyone in the black community knows that it means something taking a long time. I have heard officers give evidence that hand gestures made by black defenders in a photo are a gang symbol, and I've had to put together a photographic collage of white dignitaries, including the Pope, doing the same gestures. The stereotyping of black youths being in gangs is highly racialized. The 2018 Amnesty UK report, Trapped in the Matrix, found that there was a staggering conflation between gang members and urban culture. The numbers speak for themselves. 78% of those on the gang matrix were black, yet the number of black people responsible for serious youth violence was 27%. It is also worth noting that 40% of the people on the gang matrix had never been convicted of a serious or violent offence, yet their inclusion becomes intelligence, which can be taken into account when a decision is being made in relation to bail. Crown Court juries may very well be the saviour of the criminal justice system. Successive reviews have found that juries are the one place in the criminal justice system where there is no systemic racial bias. My experience as a trial advocate bears this out. As advocates, we can strip away the prejudice and stereotypes so that the jury can get to see the person whose fate they will decide. It is one of the reasons why black people in the UK seem to instinctively trust juries, even when they have a general mistrust of other elements of the criminal justice system. When a black person is convicted, the bias returns. Black people are more likely to receive a custodial sentence, and that sentence is likely to be higher than that of their white counterpart. When the Lamy review was carried out, 41% of those aged under 18 in youth detention were from minority groups. In 2019, that figure stood at 51%. The latest figures on young people in detention show that the only two groups where the numbers have not reduced are for black and mixed-race youths. The figures also show the danger of using the term BAME as a catch-all, because in the BAME category, the number has gone down, which reflects that fewer Asian and other identified youths are placed in custody. More diversity among judges will help to remedy some of the injustices. Only 1% of judges self-identify as black or black British. I know how important it is to have diversity. When we look at all the participants in the criminal justice system, we need to see our society reflected at all levels. There is no doubt that racial discrimination exists within the criminal justice system. The real question is why so many recommendations for legislative reform are still gathering dust. The answer to solving systemic injustices lies in implementing, at the very least, the recommendations contained in the Lamy report. We have to acknowledge the role that anti-black racism plays in our society. These are complex problems, rooted in historical events, political decisions, and majority apathy to serious inequalities and harm. The BLM movement has brought these issues to the fore, and as people listen, learn, and form greater allyship, there are those of us who are watching out to see the signs of real change.